Welcome back to Mac Talks, a football and a massive loss for Milan at the hands of Sassuolo as they defeat 2-0 and a big blow to their Champions League hopes, a qualification hopes. So let's go ahead and talk about this game. I'm lost for words if I'm being very honest with you, because that was such a poor performance from Milan. I mean, the Sassuolo were simply unbelievable in that game. From the moment the kickoff, kickoff, sorry, it was Sassuolo. It was basically one-way traffic. They were so dominant in that first half. They go ahead and they get that early goal courtesy of Barade. Great pass from Loriente, and Barade, makes it 1-0 for Sassuolo. And that basically was it, if I'm being very honest with you, because Milan did not show any sort of fight. They did not respond as I would have expected. And if I'm being very honest, if you have watched my videos for the last couple of months, I have said it. I made a video as well for regarding all the teams are trying to qualify for Europe in Syria, and I said Milan are not going to do it. Firstly, because their form is horrendous, and secondly, that if you look at the fixtures that they have the toughest fixtures out of all the teams around them. So I was fairly certain about that, and even yesterday after the Como versus Napoli game, in that video as well, I said that Milan are going to struggle, and I would not be surprised if Milan end up going out, and that is my prediction, that Milan are not going to qualify for the Champions League. I think Como and Juventus are going to surpass them, and they are going to qualify for Europe. And if you look at the performances today, it is sort of a proof at that as well, because Milan was utterly poor, utterly pathetic in that game. From the get-go, they were nervous. Sassuolo have been sort of a bogey team for Milan, but still, the way that the Milan players were playing, it felt like they never came out of the bus. They were just so poor. They were so slow. They did not have any confidence, in them. And then they go ahead and they concede. Sassuolo, they were on the front foot. They took the ball, they took the initiative, and they moved the ball so quickly. They dominated Milan in the early stages of that game, and you sort of expect that going away, it's not never an easy game, and the fans were really up for it. And let's be very honest, Sassuolo are at the moment playing for fun. It's their first year back in Serie A, and they are flying high at the moment. They are not going to qualify for Europe. They are not going to get relegated, so they don't really have anything to play for. So they are just enjoying themselves, and they took the game to Milan. And Milan, unfortunately for Milan fans, they buckled under the pressure. They could not really contain Sassuolo, which was quite surprising. They conceded that goal, and slowly they were trying to come back into the game, and unfortunately then they go ahead and concede that red card. They are down to 10 men. Stupid fouls, both of them, to get yellow cards for, and that was it. Even before the goal, but to be very honest, even before the goal and even before the red card, it was not like that Milan were playing some spectacular football. They were really poor. And Sassuolo, what the team that looked like, are what's the word I'm going to use here? Sassuolo were the team that looked like in control for basically the entirety of that game. And you need to give a big credit and props to Sassuolo, that they were so mature. They showed maturity. They were 1-0 up. They had the man advantage. They could have easily went and go in gung ho and overdo it and try to attack and try to score as many goals as they want to. But they showed maturity. They played control football. They knew that Milan have enough quality that even with 10 men they can come back, and they can hurt Sassuolo, if I'm being very honest with you. But Sassuolo made sure that they don't do it. They did not overdo it. They contained, they controlled themselves. It was a really calm and controlled performance. They had majority of the possession. They did, Milan were really happy to let Sassuolo have the ball. Sassuolo, as I said, they picked their moments whenever they went for attack. They made sure that they had enough players back so that they don't get hurt on the counter. I think that it was a very tactical and a very controlled performance. Second half comes in, they start very well in that initial moments of the second half as well, and they go ahead and they score that second goal, and that was it. After that, it was just for fun for Sassuolo. But for Milan, it was a really bad day out in the field, because the second half, it kept on getting worse and worse. I mean, the best Milan played was before the kickoff. That's how poor they were, and as the game went by, they kept on getting worse and worse and worse. And that second half was so poor, so pathetic for Milan. I did not, in the entirety of that game, I did not for once felt like that Milan are going to come and they are going to score a goal, that they are going to threaten Sassuolo. And Sassuolo did not felt that as well. It was a really poor performance. Again, the way that they were moving the ball, they were so slow. I just, you could just felt the nervousness in Milan. They felt the pressure of, making sure that they get the result here. There was a big chance for them, to make sure that they get the result. So the teams around, and the Como had dropped the points, so it was chance for Milan to increase their gap between them. They did not do it, but now they have lost the game. They have given, Como are going to be really happy about it. Roma are going to be really happy about it. Juventus are playing later on against Verona. They now have a big chance. They win that game. They overtake Milan. So for Milan, like I'm baffled, to be very honest, with the way that they play. They simply did not turn up, and they basically got bullied. That's basically the word. They got bullied by Sassuolo so convincingly, so comfortably, that if you're a Milan fan, you're just gonna sit there and you're gonna scratch your head like, what the fuck happened? In that game, how were we so poor? And especially if you look at the quality, no disrespect to Sassuolo players, but the difference in terms of the quality of the players is so much. And you expect Milan, even though it's a tough place to go, even Sassuolo are a body team for you. You expect Milan to go ahead and get the job done, which they have not been able to do it. And now, as I said, it's a big chance for Juventus to take it. Como are like what now 2 points, just 2 points behind Milan. Even they ended up drawing yesterday, so it's not looking good for Milan. And Roma, again, Roma have still not played the game. They have a chance to come even closer to Milan, and that this day kept getting worse and worse for Milan as the day goes by. Because if Juventus win, they are going to overtake Milan, and there's a big chance that Inter might be crowned, the champions tonight. So it's not going to be a good day for you if you are a Milan fan. And that performance again, as I say they have a tough fixtures, but even if in easy fixtures, if you perform like that, you are gonna get you're gonna draw points, and you're gonna get outplayed by the opponents, like what happened today. And they were just chasing shadows today. That's how bad Milan were today. And full credit and full props to Sassuolo. It's their first season back, and as I say, they are safe. They are really just enjoying it. They are waiting for the summer and whatnot, and they have a really good chance to finish in the top 10. So for Sassuolo, it's looking like it's going to be a great end to the season. First year back, finishing the top 10, it's looking really good. And again, it's their first time in history that they've defeated Milan at home. So it's like a big thing for them. And Milan, it is a disaster for them. There's no other words to say it, and they really need to step up if they really want to qualify for the Champions League. Because if they continue playing like that, I personally think they cannot get worse than this, because it was a horrendous performance. But as I said, if they continue to play like this, there's a big chance that they might not qualify for the Champions League. And that is going to be a disaster of a season, especially with the way that they started a month ago. They were basically challenging for the title, and now there's chance that they might not qualify for the Champions League. So the downfall has not been really is really poor. It's yet another season where they are not really able to finish the season off in a right way, and they are dropping points when it really matters. And it is a big problem for Milan. They really need to step up in the last 3 games. That's it for me in this video. Let me know what you guys thought of the game, what you guys thought of Milan's performance, Sassuolo's performance, and do you think Milan are going to drop out of the top 4, or do you think they are still going to qualify for the Champions League? Let me know in the comment section below. Like the video, share it as well, click on the notification, and of course subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get to 600 subscribers before the end of the season. About less than 40 subscribers remaining, so please go ahead and subscribe and help the channel out. Until next time, bye bye.